All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is Jan Stringer,
And
and
Alan Hickman.
yes, and here we are today. We're very excited to be with you. And one of the things that we're excited about is that we get to share about our program called SACAT Savvy. And so I'm going to do a quick presentation to kind of give you a little overview of what it's all about. And we're going to do an exercise as well so that if you are ready to start attracting the customers that you would call a perfect fit for your business, we are going to get you started on that today. And we're doing another Zoominar on Wednesday at the same time. And so we'll invite you to come to that as well. We'll tell you more about it at the end, but we're going to be covering an additional piece of our training, and also again next week on Monday. Yes. All right, so we've got 3 calls coming up. Today is the first of the series. And so let me just tell you a little bit about who I am. And if you are new to us, maybe you are just learning about us for the first time, today is going to be a fun introduction to real quickly learning about who we are and who Alan is. Before we get into too much details, I wanted to tell you that really the whole presentation today is about leaps of faith. And so that's really explains my whole, that's my whole career right there, is it was always taking leaps of faith and not knowing how it was going to turn out. So if you can relate to that, wave your hand. There's Ava waving
Oh,
her
yeah.
hand. Don't forget the chat. We've got a chat if you feel like you want to say something in the chat as well. But my first leap of faith really began many years ago when, oh gosh, sorry about that. My first leap of faith in my career really started when I left my corporate career. And after years and years of sales and marketing experience, I was ready to find out what I was passionate about. And that was one of my first big leaps of faith. And Alan, tell us real quickly about one of your big leaps of faith.
Well, I guess it was as a director of sales and marketing for a telecommunications company, very successful, had a marketing budget of $1 million a month, 32 salespeople working in my office alone, and company got sold. Of course, the first thing that happens when a company gets sold is they come in and fire all the managers that made the company successful in the first place. So I knew that I had to find another way to replace a very good income, and but I also knew that I really had to take a look at the direction that my life was going. That after 30 years in sales and marketing and corporate, you know, I just knew that I needed to take another direction. And it was interesting. It was right about that time that a friend of mine handed me a copy of Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity. And after just reading about, going through the book for about 20 minutes, that was when I took my first leap of faith. I turned to my friend and I said, wow, the strategy that's in this book, I can see is going to help me make the transition from sales and marketing, corporate America, to coaching, which is what I really wanted to do. Now, I have to admit, at that moment, I had no idea how I was going to replace, a consistent 6-figure income by being a coach. However, that's exactly what I did. And it was a result of taking a leap of faith, coming to Houston, Texas, doing a training with Jan 10 or 12 years ago. And she actually showed me how I could produce a really good income being a coach. And so, that was my first leap of faith, was coming to Houston and doing one of those first SACAT trainings.
Right, that's great. So you could say that this, I'm trying to figure out our little speaker thing. I've tried to work this out. Please bear with me for a second.
Try to do two things at one time.
It has its own mind. I see what's happening. Anyway, the next leap of faith that I wanted to also share about today is about attracting perfect customers, the power of strategic synchronicity. And the leap of faith came when I, not really about writing the book as much, as about bringing the message forward in the world of what this book really represented to me, and not being afraid to voice that expression of what I was all about. And what I was all about is that I believed that if I were to create the relationships that I worked with to be perfect, or perfect fitting, I guess is a better way to say that, that I could have a great business out of that. And I've really proven that over time. And use the law of attraction as my center universal law, universal truth, that if like attracts like, and I truly believe that that's how it works, that I could attract people to my business that would be a perfect fit for me. And so the perfect customers model was even called, back in the day, when the book came out in the year 2001, it was called revolutionary, because who would have thought that you could actually do these kind of principles and make a living doing it? We all thought we had to conform to what other people wanted, and I was here to say, no, your perfect customers want you to have what you want. So what is that? Let's discover what that is, and we're going to do part of that exercise in our call today. Another leap of faith came when Alan and I decided to write a book together. That was probably the biggest part of the leap of the faith. We were noticing that after working with people for many, many years on this same principle of what we now call, or in our books we started to call, strategic attraction planning, what we noticed that one of the key elements of really having success in your business is about becoming or being. So we started to play with this metaphor of the bumblebee. As you see, this is our bee on our book cover, that bees aren't supposed to fly. They have, bumblebees have these short little wings, and they're not supposed to get their body off the ground. And so that's our whole analogy of being.
They fly anyway.
And they fly anyway. And that we can too, that once we're clear about who we are and what we love and how we want to do our business, and we put our focus on that, that I can start to fly and create my own heart-centered business.
Yeah, that was really another sort of the next leap of faith for me, was to recognize that I had certain gifts, talents, skills, you might say, a unique brilliance that was all my own. However, I didn't know exactly how to exchange that brilliance for money. And that's really what Jan taught me in that first training, and was how to exchange my unique gifts and talents, how to create how to have a strategy that would allow me to create a way to exchange that for money. And the Being Attraction book, very interestingly enough, is filled with stories of people like myself. People who had an amazing, yeah, there's
I'm going to show you some
pictures of them,
yes.
Some amazingly brilliant people who called us and basically said, hey, I want to give you a case study, a testimonial. Do you know that the strategic attraction planning process and the SACAT program allowed me to fulfill on my purpose in life and really, one person, for example, has a $1 million business now. He, at the time he took our training, was $250,000 in debt.
I'll tell you about him in just a minute.
Yeah, it was just
It's
just
amazing.
amazing, yeah, amazing stories like that. And the Being Attraction book is filled with stories about people who are like that.
Yeah. So it was really out of our customers' request, our perfect customers that we had been teaching the strategic attraction plan to for years and years. They were like, is there a way for me to be able to share this same strategic attraction planning process with other people? And so that's how we started this SACAT program that's our acronym, SACAT, which stands for Strategic Attraction Certification and Training. And
Had to be a cat in there somewhere because Jan loves cats.
I'm a cat person. You'll probably see one walk across in front of the camera in a minute. So our first beta SACAT, we actually did one class right before the beta. It was only 4 people. We started at a kitchen table. So that's kind of my philosophy, is that if you're a guy, you start your business in the garage. If you're a girl, you start it at the kitchen table. But we started, once we realized after our very first kitchen table experience that we could actually make this happen and people were really wanting it, we did our first beta, which was in 2005. And some people became fast friends as a result of it and still are in communication. We're still in communication with almost everyone that started in that beta. Maybe not every day, but definitely there's a heart connection that we started, and it's carried on for many, many years. We moved to Santa Fe in 2006, and we started doing retreats here. This is one that we did, one of our early retreats, where we started having our SACAT retreats in the community of Santa Fe, which people love to come to. And this is one of the beautiful retreat centers that we were able to have this particular event at. And on Saturday night, we would do a Diva night. So that's why all the ladies are kind of fluffed up. It was really fun to do that.
Well, I notice you don't have the picture of the men who were supposed to dress up as well.
I will put that on the next one. The men were kind of scary looking, but we told them that on Diva night they were supposed to come as a warrior and do not wear your favorite Hawaiian shirt. So they really took that to heart, and I'll show some pictures of that at another time. We had a lot of success with the SACAT program. A lot of people have been interested, and we'll tell you about some of the ways that people have not only discovered what their purpose is, but they've started to make a profit from being in the program. And we also went through a whole rebranding of our own. So if you've been going through that yourself, you know how much fun that is to reimagine your business. And our business is 16 years old. So in the year 2013, we started a rebranding process. And in 2014, we reimagined the SACAT program, and we had new colors, new logo, new website, and started to promote our business and our SACAT program in this way. These are a few of the people that are some of our near and dear friends, and one of them, which Carrie Bell, is on the call today. As Alan mentioned, one of the people that was one of our earlier adopters, Alan Davidson, has been very, very successful with the SACAT program. As Alan mentioned, he loves to tell that story. I don't know if Alan Davidson loves it as much as you do, Alan, but
Right.
he confided actually sometime later that at the time he signed up for the SACAT program, he was deeply in debt to the tune of $250,000, and that he was able to parlay some of the information and education and the connections that he made in the SACAT program to be able to transform that negative zero balance to a very positive cash flow. And we'll tell you about that in a minute. But Alan is one of these amazing people that has a lot of gifts, talents, and skills. And he has the website, if you want to look him up, throughyourbody.com. You can write him. He's a brilliant author of a book called Body Brilliance. But one of the things that Alan said that he has really used the SACAT for is that it was really a foundational step for him to go in the direction he really wanted to go, that he was still in that leap of faith years where he didn't know exactly who he was yet or how he wanted to bring that out to the world. And he used the SACAT to help him to get clear and focused on who he is, who his being is, and how he wants to share that with the world. And he went on to become a very successful product launch manager for many, many A-listers, people that you would recognize, I'm sure: Lisa Sasevich, Pamela Bruner, Jack Canfield, anybody and everybody, Rich Gurman, that you've probably seen lots of emails for. He's worked with them in helping to launch their products. And he's even worked with the CEO of Hay House, for example. And he said the first thing that he does with each one of those meetings is that he has them do a strategic attraction plan with them to discover who they want to attract in their launch.
Yeah, he's a perfect example. Just to kind of let you know who Alan Davidson really is, he was at one of our retreats here in Santa Fe where we put together a program of strategic synchronicity, you might call it, where he applied what I call the power of strategic synchronicity to something that he really wanted to accomplish. He had this amazing book, and he wanted to interview Marianne Williamson. So at this retreat, we put together a plan and a strategy. And Marianne Williamson's assistant had let Alan know that there's 500 people in a stack of people who want to be interviewed, want to interview Marianne, and so he leaves the retreat, drives to Albuquerque, gets on the airplane, and who do you think is sitting in first row of first class with an empty seat next to her? Marianne Williamson.
Hey, this is a strategic synchronicity for sure.
Yeah,
these things happen.
So he had an interview with her as a result 2 weeks later, and the rest is, as they say, history.
So he's a good manifester and attractor of A-listers and top-notch people. And he's a great person. Alan and I are doing an event later in the year, a live event. We'll be in Santa Fe, and you'll be hearing about that as well. That won't be till probably November. All right, well, more to come. Let's see. Another case study is Julia Steggy, and probably some of you have heard about her. And one of the things that I like about Julia, she has really taken the strategic attraction plan and made it her own. And that's one of the beautiful things about our programs that maybe is different from other people that you've gone through a certification training program with. I always felt that the strategic attraction plan was a very feminine energy type of tool. And by that I mean it's meant to be very creative. It's meant to get your imagination flowing. It's not meant to be put in a box. So I was never going to ever tell people, here's how you have to do it. You have to do it Jan's way or the highway. And instead, I invite people that go through our SACAT program to use their own gifts, talents, and skills and add it to the strategic attraction plan. And I feel like Julia has done a really beautiful job of that. She calls it your soul tribe is seeking you right now. And so in that she's a graphic designer and website creator and branding artist, she helps the people that she works with to get clear about the audiences that is perfect for them to be attracting through her online presence or their online presence.
Yeah, so she uses a strategic attraction plan as a tool to get content for people's websites, because it's all inside of you, and what she uses it to, as a matter of fact, I remember she was on a retreat here in Santa Fe, and we're working on getting what makes you tick, and I'm sitting next to Julia, and I look over at her and she's crying, mascara coming down her face. I go, Julia, what's going on? She says, I just got a deeper value of what makes me tick. It's about connecting with millions of people. And she looks up at me and she says, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. 2 weeks later, long story short, so she has on her website an offer that if you do the strategic attraction plan, fill the steps out, she'll give you a free 20-minute inquiry into how to build your website. So she gets this email from this woman saying, okay, I want my 20 minutes. Actually, I think it was a phone call. She says, well, I filled out the attraction plan. I want my 20 minutes. Turns out it was a woman by the name of Ayanla Van Zant, who needed a new website designed because she was going to be on the last Oprah show. And there were going to be millions of people coming to her website. And that, again, is the power of strategic synchronicity of how Julia started her quest on fulfilling, on making a difference for millions of people around the world.
You bet. So, these are the things that happen. And one of the things Julia said is that it's kind of like we gave her permission to be magical. We used to make, at our retreats, magic wands, in fact. And so there's a real magical part of her that really wanted to be expressed. So she calls herself the magical marketer, and really felt like our work has given her permission to be who she's meant to be. All right, so we're telling you all these stories for a reason today. And hopefully you are ready to start attracting people to your business that are a perfect fit for you. And so we've given you some examples. Yay, Ava's showing us her magic wand. Oh, that's awesome. That's so great. I'm going to open the lines for a little bit because I got to hear about this magic wand. Tell us, Ava.
Yeah, come on, Shanti.
So
lines are open, you guys. Go ahead. Yes, please.
So I haven't been in touch with you guys since the Kangen water presentation you did. I got a ticket driving to get there, and I haven't been touching base with you.
Right.
In my mind.
My gosh.
So today is the day. It's a new day. I've already got my magic wand, which I will be using now, and I'm delighted to be in your presence again. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm all excited.
Thank you for being here. That is so great. All right. Well, yeah, we get connected with people in the most interesting ways, and that's really the power of strategic synchronicity.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any questions before we go on? I'm going to mute our lines again, but if you have a question, let me know in the chat. All right. So you can unmute yourself, by the way, if you go up to the participant list, there's a place to unmute yourself. So all the lines are muted for right the moment. Well, I wanted to give you some information about what we're talking about. How did all of this get going? And the strategic attraction plan is the tool that started everything. And originally it started out to be a sales and marketing technique, you could say. And it is certainly effective for that. And so it's a 5-step plan, and that's what we teach in the SACAT program. And so you get a real deep dive into strategic attraction planning. And so what I thought is today I'd give you a dip one toe in the water perspective, so to speak. And if you can come back to our next webinar, Zoominar, on Wednesday, you'll get another dip in the toe of the second step. But this first step after you've identified what kind of relationships that you want to attract to your business, if that's a customer, a client, a business partner, maybe it's an investor, maybe it's a dry cleaner for that matter. Once you are clear about what kind of relationship you want to attract first, then here's the step number one, and you can just write this down and then take some notes underneath it. The title of step one is to describe the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my perfect, and for sake of our training today, I'll just say perfect customer. So go ahead and write down 3, 4, 5 things, and I put a picture of some of the people that we've had the pleasure to have in person in Santa Fe, and you know, you can see there's different heights, different ages, there's different types of people. So think about all the kinds of people that you would like to work with. You know, the characteristics such as, are they fun? Are they professional? Do they own their own business? Do they work inside of a company? Are they in a certain kind of marketplace? Do they, are they an age bracket particularly? Are they, you know, these are all the basic qualities and characteristics.
Well, I can tell you one thing I get from this picture.
Yes.
They're all smiling.
They smile a lot, yeah.
So that works for me.
And I see, what if you don't know from, I believe it's Tyra. I hope I didn't say that incorrectly, but she says, okay, tell me more. You said in your chat, what if you don't know?
Yeah, so that's, I mean, I could help anybody. That's been part of my problem, is I don't know if they're all like the same age group or the same. Basically, I guess they have more qualities rather than a certain, you know, type. But there's so many different types of people that I can help too. It's been hard to define that audience, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so, you know, the best way to do that for me is to just think about somebody that I worked with that I really, really liked working with. And if I could, you know, I've got, well, everybody that you see in this picture for sure. If I could clone those people and have 100 more just like them, what is it that I like about them? And step number one is, we're going to refine your list in a different way as we move on from step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But the starting point that I want you to just focus on for now is getting present to all of the things that are important to you for you to have in your kind of perfect customer. And just remember, this is, if I could wave my magic wand and get the perfect fitting customer, what would it be like? Yeah,
and is it Kyra? Is that how you pronounce your name?
It's actually Shareya.
Shareya.
Okay,
that's beautiful.
There. Okay.
Yes.
So give me.
So Shareya, you know, your question is really, really profound. Believe it or not, it surfaces some very, very profound wisdom. Like, how would I know? And the truth is, we all do know. But the power of the strategic attraction plan is it allows us to get clear and focused on these qualities. So it's a process that takes place. And by the end of the SACAT program, for example, you not only would have a really clear vision of exactly who your unique tribe, customer, you know, who the people that you're speaking to is, but you would have a real clear idea of what exactly it is that you say to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it starts right here, right now.
I've been a fan of you guys for years, and I've been in not only a rebrand, a complete new company. Like, I was doing an expo, and it got to be too burned out, and I have been building all these books in the background, and now they're all starting to come out. So I'm in this discovery process of, and it's really spiritual growth, esoteric wisdom with a touch of comedy and high vibe, it's like, I can't wait to really find out who those people are.
Well,
yeah, that sounds great.
Everything you just said right there is an example of what you would put on step one. Those are your people.
Mm-hmm.
They're the people that want that.
Right.
They're the people that are spiritual, high vibration, that love, to have an element of fun and play. That's what I heard you. Comic, side to their, personalities. There are people that are ready for a new beginning, that value what you say. They love your experience that you bring to them. So those are, it's all there. Just think about if they were sitting in front of you and you're giving them, here's why I like you. Here's why I want you. How would you know if they walked in the door, if they were a perfect fit? Well, I would know because they smile, they beam a big smile at me. There's a resonance in their energy. Maybe I can feel a heart connection. All those things that without, having maybe written them down. Now's an opportunity to record them on a piece of paper so that you can know and really put your attention on attracting those kind of qualities that you really resonate with.
Yeah, I remember when Jan first introduced me to this process, and I guess you'd call it one of the principles of the power of strategic synchronicity, but I got that I could actually write the script of who was going to show up when I went to a networking meeting.
Right.
That's what one of the first ahas that I had about the strategic attraction planning process. It gave me access to see that I was the one who was in control, that I could create a strategic attraction plan right now. And when I showed up in a networking meeting or a room, there would be the people that I had created on my plan.
Yeah.
No, I believe it, and I've had multiples of experiences to know that's real. It's actually my passion.
Yeah, well, you are in the right place, because guess what? That's the passion of all the people all of your perfect customers.
Right.
That's their passion.
It finally occurred to me, I had been, as I mentioned earlier, I'd been in sales as my whole career, working for other companies. And in the companies I worked for, I was always told, here's the things that make you a good salesperson, and you have to do X, Y, and Z. Well, I could look at their list or hear what they try to tell me, and I could tell them right off, that won't work for me. That won't work for me. That might work for me. I'll try it. I would try everything. But what finally dawned on me after all these years of doing things my way, that I just knew exactly what worked for me, and I applied that. And when I applied that, it worked. And when I tried to do it their way, it didn't, or ways that didn't feel comfortable to me. And so we hear from people all the time, oh, I'm not good in sales, I'm not good in marketing, perhaps. But we always say that if you've ever had the experience to build just even one great relationship, then you have the capacity and the skills, all the skills that you need to have a whole business full of people that are 100% perfect.
You are a master marketer if you can do that.
Yeah.
And all of us have done that. That's the key. And the piece that starts to develop is that you discover that when you get more clear and focused on who your niche really is, the galaxy of people starts to expand. It's a strange phenomenon that seems to happen. Many times we think, oh, if I just really get clear and focused on a specific niche, I'll be leaving all these other people out. Turns out it's exactly the opposite. If I try to please everybody, I'm unable to. But when I get really clear and specific who it is that I please, the universe of my perfect customers expands. It's it's like bees are able to fly. Defies logic.
All right. Any other questions? Anybody like to share some of the qualities that you're seeking to attract? If you just unmute your line, go to the participants. I can open everybody's line.
Yeah. If there's anybody who'd just like to say hello,
we're unmuted now, so just so you know.
let us know you're here.
Feel free to mute your own line if you want to, but the lines are open if you'd like to share an attraction quality that you desire.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ava.
Yes.
I don't know. So I do something called send out cards, and it's known as a revolution of kindness, where we send people cards instead of bills.
Yeah.
And, people are moved, touched, and inspired. So actually, I'm looking for people who love to communicate with others, who are fun, who are the center of influence around them. They're the Pied Piper. Everybody wants to be in their space, work with them, play with them. And they have a global perspective, that what we're doing here is shifting the thinking of humanity toward love and peace instead of what's kind of showing up out there.
Yes.
So that's that.
Yeah, and they love to be creative and imaginative.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love send out cards.
Alan does. He
Me
loves
too.
it. I
Yeah.
do too. Anybody else like to share what you have on your list?
Hi, this is Kate.
Yes. Hi, Kate.
Okay.
My ideal clients are fun, they're spiritual, heart-centered, sweet, creative. They want to play bigger. They have passion, energy, enthusiasm, optimism. They're positive and happy, and they really like working with me.
Oh, good.
Wow. That's so great. I love your list.
Yeah.
And so
That's fabulous.
I heard a lot of excitement as you read it, a lot of, passion there. And so
Enthusiasm.
And as you read that, and you too, Ava, what did you notice inside of you as you were reading your list?
Excitement. My heart was beating like crazy.
Uh-huh. How about you?
Especially when Kate shared.
Yeah, what Kate said. I mean, wow. I mean, I could actually work with people like that. I mean, work with people who really like working with me. I mean, that surfaces
that's
even
huge.
more. Yeah, because now I get to write on my attraction plan, well, what does that look like for me?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how step number 1 works and expands. It becomes a long, juicy list of qualities, characteristics, and attributes. I mean, how would I know if somebody really likes working with me?
They tell me at the end of every session, my favorite clients at the end of the session, they go, oh my God, I'm so glad that Zoe referred me to you. You're just right for me. That type of thing.
Right.
There it is. That's it. That's so great.
There you go.
I am so glad.
And anybody else like to share what you've got, or maybe you have a question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
I can.
My name is Jenny Ma. I'm actually patching in from New York City.
Awesome.
In Manhattan.
Cool.
Hi. It's been
Hi.
a while. I've been receiving your incredible work, and I'm really pleased, and I feel honored to be part of this call today to learn from you all. So the quality and the characteristics that I have written down on my list are people who are professional, who are eager and determined. And the lady just now who was excited to read hers and say that people who like working with me, that kind of caught my attention, because I don't know how to get excited when people compliment me after, working with me, because I come from a culture, I'm Chinese and I've been in New York for 19 years. So I come up from a culture is like, well, that's what we do. So,
Yes.
it's hard for me to receive a compliment. And I felt that excitement from this lady, and I thought, wow, I should kind of like take that in too
Yes.
and learn from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
definitely.
call borrowed benefits.
Borrowed benefits.
Borrowed benefit.
Yes, that's what we call strategic attraction as well, and strategic synchronicity, is that law of attraction puts together the right scenario of people for us to learn what we need to learn or hear what we need to hear, and that's kind of an example of what happens in our calls. Like you said there, we hear somebody else says something that's true for them, and we go, "Oh, that feels really good. I want some of that."
Yeah,
And
so
that's where I'll jump in, because I've been working with the strategic attraction plan for a while now, and that's one of the pieces that I've gone through, where not only do I not accept appreciation, but I also recognize. Alan, do you remember how I put it? There was some phrase I had with not acknowledging the acknowledgement.
right.
And so that's where a lot of this is really about learning more about myself, in terms of where I want to be and what I want to be doing. On that. And so some of the things that are on my list are people who want to transform their lives. They seek me out. They tell me how exciting it is for them. I get a little practical where what are your fees? Can I pay you up front and in full?
Wow.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
love that. Bring it on.
Things like that.
Wow.
See how we learn from each other.
You mean I could put that on my attraction plan?
Yeah,
That's
talk
great.
about scripting. One day I put on my attraction plan step 1 that I want them to say as my script that you are an answer to prayer. And if they said that, it would just tell me right off the bat they're going to be a great, perfect customer. And I would be amazed that right after that somebody say, "Wow, you're an answer to prayer," or something. Work it into our conversation, and so you can script those things. Like you were the perfect. You showed at the perfect time and the perfect place. I'm so glad I met you. Lots and lots of things. Anything that you hear from one of your perfect customers that you like and you want more of, you put it on your plan.
Yeah, what was it, Jenny Ma from New York?
Yes.
So you really surfaced a very valuable piece of what shows up in our SACAT program, and Carrie just followed it right up, where he's had the experience of receiving appreciation, and so now he's got it like in his cellular memory. So I don't want to step over that moment where you had this feeling as a result of what someone else on this call said. It really resonated for you. That's real. That's like in your body. And so that now, even though you may come from a culture that doesn't emphasize expressing or feeling emotions like that, you now have that moment in your cellular memory, and so you can draw on that moment by moment. And I just have to say that's what our SACAT, one of the things that our SACAT program is all about, gathering a group of people who see that and share that with and for you.
Thank you so much for that. I would like to, share just a little bit that I do not have problems manifesting. If I think of something, I put it out there. Usually, it just comes right through.
Love that.
But it is this thing about there's this thing in my cellular level about receiving. I think it's to do with receiving that relates to my financial.
Right.
Yes, it's like I think your message is like, wouldn't it be great to not live month to month? I don't live month to month, but it's like,
Right.
why is it that I'm able to manifest many, many things? I can list endless things, but financial is something that just, it's like a thorn, in my cellular level that I can't, like quite pinpoint it. And I think this kind of just gave me like an enlightening moment that, receiving is a big aspect of it, and receiving the gratitude, receiving like compliments and appreciation from other people is just a small start of it for me.
Yeah. It's
Bingo.
It takes a little bit of practice, because we're givers by nature. Most of us have been
Right.
giving, and it does take a little bit of practice to allow. And so law of attraction is one universal truth that I believe in, and it's also tied to the law of allowance.
Yeah.
And law of allowance, you can allow into your life to the degree that you have a capacity to allow it in. And so it's a capacity and it's an ability that you can develop. And so just noticing what you said today and noticing that you had an enlightened moment, I would say is a very, very big step in becoming more awake and aware to how you really want to be and how you want to be seen as. And that's all the whole program of SACAT is, ultimately clearing out everything that is less than perfect, not only in our lives with other people, but in ourselves. And just remember that I am the center of all that I attract. So if I'm still attracting some things that are less than perfect, the good news is I have the capacity,
I attracted them.
to say, well, yeah, I attracted something less than perfect, and I also have the ability to do something about that.
Yeah, so that moment that you just expressed so profoundly, Jenny Ma, is like I said, it's there in your cellular memory now. And so you have the ability to focus your attention on that moment. And that practice is what expands your capacity for more of that.
Yeah. Well, as you can probably get, thank you for sharing that, Jenny.
Boy,
Probably
no kidding.
everyone on the call today can relate to what you just shared. So, well, I want to go on because our time is going to go, it goes by so fast, but I wanted to share with you a little bit more, and then hopefully you can rejoin us again in one of the other Zoominars.
Zoominar.
Well,
Yes.
when we were putting together the SACAT training, we like, what do you charge for a life-altering transformational year where you're going to have so many breakthroughs and really design the life that you want? And we started out at saying it was, in fact, we did a year of programs for around $10,000. And we decided that what we're more interested is, rather than getting just the larger bucks, we're more interested in giving value. And so we trimmed our price down for a whole year to $5,000.
Wow.
And we're such givers. We love giving value so much.
We discovered that you can't give without receiving is what we actually discovered.
There you go.
We started practicing what we preach in terms of the attraction plan. And we really just we sat down and said, okay, what is it that you really love about the SACAT program? And we got really clear and specific for ourselves what we got out of it.
Yeah. So what the package comes with, just in the, there's a whole package of value that isn't even on this list, but there's a monthly call where you connect with people all over the world who have been through the SACAT program. And there's also an educational portion to that. So you connect and you get a piece of wisdom or education. It usually is presented by one of our other SACATs, because I feel like we have so much knowledge and wisdom inside of our own community that I invite people to give that wisdom as a gift to our monthly call, in our monthly calls. And we'll do that once a month. And then the SACAT training, the first 3 months, there is a call every single week. And people love that structure. It sounds like a lot, but it's kind of like going to the gym once you get used to it. That 90 minutes is the jet fuel that is just going to really catapult you forward. And we go through a deeper dive on the strategic attraction plan for the first 3 months. So it's 12 weekly calls. And then we invite you, if you can make it. You don't have to come, but we do a 2.5-day retreat in Santa Fe, New Mexico. They are so much fun. I mean, you could see from our earlier pictures, when we come together, magic and experience comes, and connection. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys. I know you know what that's like. But we invite you to come to the retreat in Santa Fe, and we'll tell you about dates on those. Our classes are starting in April, so April 5th, it's a Wednesday call. It's an 11 a.m. class for Mountain Time, and you can adjust for your own. I'm going to mute our lines again. We're getting a little noisy. Sorry. Okay. And you can unmute yourself if you need to chime in. Also, we have a membership site. It's what we call a customer hub. And all of your training materials are there. And I'm telling you, there's a wealth of the information in the customer hub. And let's see, Chiraya, I'm sorry, I'm still messing your name up. She likes the Zoominar name. Chiraya, thank you. And so she says, does the certification kick in after the 3-month program? Shreya, thank you. Great question, Shreya. Actually, we encourage you to start day one. We are going to give you information each week, and one of the things that we ask you to do to become certified is to teach one other person. You can teach 10 if you want, but at least one other person you're going to be teaching them. We call that your training partner. Usually it's for free. You don't ask them to pay you. And in exchange, they're going to get the benefit of working with you to create their own strategic attraction plan. And we'll step you through that. And so while the certification doesn't actually take place immediately, we want you to get started in teaching the strategic attraction plan immediately, so that you're benefiting by learning, by teaching it to other people. And that helps you to be more proficient and clear and focused about what's perfect for you. Does that make sense, Sharia?
Yes, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I found that, when I was first using the strategic attraction plan, where I learned to use it was really in interacting with other people. So that's why we incorporate that as an important part of our training.
Well, I would say that I'm actually really good at this kind of stuff, and I've been studying you guys for years. I'm moving into a new phase of my business where I'm just wondering, it seems like working with you might be a good addition to what I'm doing to give it even more backing to people, because you've been around for a while and you're established.
Yeah, we started when we were 10. So yeah, we've been around 16 years, and it does give you that added credibility to say you're a SACAT or you're a certified strategic attraction planner, or however you want to call yourself. Some people like facilitator, some people like a coach. Again, we're not really attached to you making it personal for yourself. And it does give you an added boost to be in the program, not only personally, but in your credentials.
Yeah, so the certification really, it's learning how to structure that exchange that I spoke of earlier. I remember when Jan, there I was wondering how am I going to replace a really good income, and Jan showed me exactly how. By using the strategic attraction planning process, I could create packages, coaching packages that would allow me to make a six-figure income. And so it was that learning. Once I learned that how to exchange my own value through this process, through this structure, I realized that we had to share this life-changing process with as many people as possible, and that's how we created the SACAT program.
I guess you can see why I attracted Alan into my life. He's the world's greatest cheerleader. All right, so here you are. We're talking about leaps of faith today, and what is the jump in our strategic attraction coaching program? There's many leaps of faith that we're all going to take. It's where we are now to where we want to be, and the SACAT is a great tool for helping us to get clear about what that is. We all come to the table with lots and lots of gift, talents, and skills, and there's really nothing that we're going to teach you that you don't already know. What we are giving you is a platform for really getting clear from a perspective of having your soul friends reflect back to you who they see. And for example, when we were doing our reimagining of the SACAT, and we were rebranding our company since we'd been in business for so long, I needed a new, fresh perspective. And I was working with a mastermind group, and I asked them to tell me, well, who are you seeing when you see me? And that was one of the most valuable exercises. It was very courageous to ask them that, I will say, not knowing, exactly how they would respond. But some of the very things that they said back to me, they see me as playful, they see me as feisty, they see me as a trusted advisor, they see me as reputable, credible. Some of those words, especially the feisty and playful ones, were my favorite. And we designed our whole website out of that. And that's what we give to our friends inside of the SACAT. We give the benefit of us be able to see you and reflect that back to you so that you can use it in your marketing, your branding, and use it in relationship with your perfect customers.
Yeah, so it really is about being able to exchange what's already there. You've already got the value. And so what happens, you've noticed just on this call, some of you have noticed an expansion of your capacity in some specific way. That's what happens in the SACAT program.
Well, we also have an irresistible offer to make you today. Of course, our $5,000 is a very attractive number that we could easily charge for the program, and there's plenty of value to justify that. However, we are ready to get our program started. It's April the 5th, so that's about a month away, so to speak. Is that right? Yeah, about a month away, exactly. And so our irresistible offer is that if you want to pay a one-time payment, it's $2,000, and that's the most financially beneficial form. However, we recognize that sometimes it's better to do a payment plan, and if that's the case, it's only $197 a month. It's 12 monthly payments at $197, and I promise you that you can do this program and make this payment of what you're investing back so many times over. You're just going to do like Alan Davidson, who was our earlier case study that we mentioned. He said when he signed up for the SACAT program, actually it used to be $24.95, And he said that was probably the most expensive program he ever thought about ever spending money on back in the day. That was probably 2002, 3, or something along there. And he said that since then he's paid, 5 figures for programs that he didn't get as much value as he got from his SACAT program. So I know that you'll get a lot of value out of our program, and this is our irresistible offer today. There is an extra charge if you do attend the retreat. It's also an early bird special through the 15th of April for $197 to attend the 2.5-day retreat. So that's just the attendance fee. Your expenses, travel, hotel, etc. is an addition to that, and you just pay that on your own.
Yeah, we also have a fast action bonus of what we call a strategic attraction laser coaching session with either Jan or myself, where we just laser focus on something that you'd like to move or shift in your life or business. And I promise you, these laser coaching sessions, they're absolutely amazing. I have to get more and more testimonials. Some of the things that have been resulting from those laser coaching sessions are absolutely incredible. So if you can register in the next couple of days, you get a 1-hour laser coaching session with Jan or Alan.
Those are really good too. People love our coaching. And that's
one-on-one, just in the
yeah. So somebody also asked the dates of the retreat. I didn't get those on the screen. However, the next date is May 31st. Is the first day, June, that's a Wednesday, and then Thursday, June 1st, and then Friday, half a day on June the 2nd. And we do that in such a way that you can come in on the Tuesday before we start, and we go all day Wednesday and Thursday, half a day on Friday, and then you've got the weekend to play in Santa Fe. And there's lots of fun places to go here. What you're seeing on the screen, if you're able to see our screen, is a picture of our certification seal. All right, I could see some people are needing to shoot off, and that's okay. We are going to record this, and you can watch it later. But we're really completing for our call today. If you want to get in touch with us, take an attractive action, or have a question, Alan is sending out an email after our call about everything we discussed today and how to take immediate action and get that attractive laser coaching bonus. Or you can just write or phone us. Here's our numbers. Telephone 505-795-5100. That's 505-795-5100. Feel free to make a phone call. You can also email Jan at perfectcustomers.com or Alan, A-L-A-N, at perfectcustomers.com. So that is the completion of our special event today. We hope you had a good time. And on Wednesday, we're going to take our strategic attraction into the next step 2. And that's about getting what makes you tick. So we hope that you can come back and join us. And if anybody has any questions, I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. I'm going to stop our recording. But I just want to say thank you before we do that. If you have to depart, thank you for being here. We love you. We feel honored that you were able to be part of our journey today. So,
thanks.